Hey, yo! What's up? It's DC Derek back with another episode of the Burgundy Boss podcast. Boy, do we have a loaded one for y'all today. We're going to talk about the franchise tag that's being passed around with today's deadline at 4 p.m. We're going to talk about people that, we think are going to get the franchise tag before the deadline hits. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and his decisions on his future. We're going to talk about the Russell Wilson trade that just went down. And we're going to talk about where Washington can go at the quarterback position next. All that and more on this episode of the Burgundy Boss podcast.
Stadium packed, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that.
Now that you're back, let's dive right into this thing. Franchise tag, okay? We got a few names, we do. Yesterday it was announced that Orlando Brown Jr. from the Kansas City Chiefs, they traded a first-round pick for last year, is going to be coming back. He's going to sign the franchise tag. Jesse Bates is another one that, I think all signs pointed to him coming back. Cincinnati was not going to let him go anywhere, and if he couldn't sign a long-term deal, that was their way of keeping him in town. David Njoku, that's a little bit of a surprise for me. He's really like the second tight end. Of course, they run a lot, and they run a lot of, two tight end sets. So, from what I hear, he only played about 70% of snaps last year. So that's something to take into consideration. Mike Gesicki is another one. Maybe caught some people by surprise, but not really. Like, he's Miami's, big red zone threat. I think they're signing him to the franchise tag. Mike McDaniel will take him in. I think Mike McDaniel is going to try to make him, his George Kittle in Miami. And if he's able to do that, that's great. If not, I think they're just going to let him go next year. But I don't think that's going to be a long, drawn-out process. I think it's going to be, okay, this is your year. Prove it to us. And if you prove it to us, sign you a long-term deal. If not, we'll let you go. Dallas was able to create some cap space. They restructured Zach Martin. They restructured Dak Prescott. And then it allowed them to sign Dalton Schultz. All these tight ends, Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, David Njoku, they're all going to – the franchise price for them is $10.9 million. And so that's why I kind of said that for Njoku, that's kind of a little bit of money, that's no cheap dollar there. You're paying $11 million for a backup tight end. But they're doing what they have to do to keep their team intact, with Baker's future being, kind of up in the air right now and everything else, and them being such a two tight end heavy team. And, athletic freaks like David Njoku don't just grow on trees. So it was important to them to keep him there. On to our next point. There's a couple of guys that could potentially be getting it. Devontae Adams is one. It's not been made official yet, but all signs are pointing to him going back to Green Bay with the news of Aaron Rodgers. And Chris Godwin, they were working on a long-term deal. They're trying to get one in place, but I believe that they're doing that so that it gives them a longer period of time to work on Chris Godwin. And from what I heard, they're prioritizing Chris Godwin over the corner from Tampa, Carlton Davis. He's expiring. Some thought that he might get the franchise tag and be able to get a long-term deal done on Godwin. That did not happen. So what they're doing is they're just going to go ahead and they're going to slap it on Godwin because they feel like he's a bigger piece. And shortly after all those franchise tags were announced, we got news of Mike Williams of the LA Chargers, who had got some, there was rumored that he was garnering interest from several teams, including the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, what they could do with a 6'5" red zone threat to go along with Kelsey and Hill and Hardman and all those guys. But that's not going to happen. He's re-signing with the Chargers. He's going back on a 3-year, $60 million deal with $40 million guaranteed. And, very rapidly after that happened, some conflicting news has come out about Aaron Rodgers. Pat McAfee had tweeted out that he's going back to Green Bay, and that a team-friendly deal was put in place, but nothing had been signed yet. And then, ironically, shortly after that, Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero and Mike Garafolo, all those guys come out and they're like, Aaron Rodgers is signing a huge contract to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and it's going to be 4 years, $200 million with $153 million guaranteed. And Pat McAfee reiterated on his show that, hey, that's not happening. There's no contract that's been signed. And even Aaron's tweeted out since then, I haven't signed anything. This $200 million contract, I don't know where guys are getting it from. I have not signed it. No contract has been signed. No extension has been signed. So we need to pump the brakes on that. But man, the boom from today. Woo, buddy. The boom from today comes in the form of a Russell Wilson trade. Russell Wilson to Denver. Russell Wilson, it was come out at the combine that, the Commanders had shot offers to Seattle. And basically, Pete Carroll came out and said, hey, we're not really interested in trading Russ at this time. Something would really have to blow our doors off for us to be able to even entertain an offer. Well, it happened. It came to fruition today, and let me tell you, some big stuff is coming to the AFC West. So, breakdown of the trade. Denver is getting Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. And Seattle is getting they're getting Drew Lock. Sorry, just got a news notification. Chris Godwin is actually officially being tagged. So Chris Godwin is added to that tag list. Devontae Adams is officially tagged. We have an hour left before that deadline hits. So there could be a couple other names added to that list. I'm going to be looking at my phone, periodically to make sure we don't miss anything while I'm recording. But back to the Seattle trade. So Denver's getting Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. In return, Denver is sending, which, take this for what it is, but they're sending Drew Lock, who may or may not be a bridge quarterback for them. Noah Fant, star tight end. Shelby Harris, who's a good, solid defensive lineman who can generate pass rush that they've lacked. They're also sending 2 first-round picks this in 2022 and 2023, second-round picks in 2022 and 2023, and a 5th-round pick in 2022. So that tells me that there were some conversations probably that were had at the combine, and Seattle's like, man, we really like some of these guys. If we can get something for Russ, if somebody blows us away, more than happy to, entertain something. Just John Snyder talking back and forth with Pete Carroll. And surely this is what happened. I mean, if you're talking about 2 first, 2 seconds, and they send Russ and a 4th. Like, I don't really understand the whole 4th, 5th thing. Maybe they just needed to sweeten the deal a little bit. I don't know. Maybe Denver wanted a little something back, But this kind of has shades of last year's Matt Stafford trade. And, especially for me being a Washington fan, like, definitely has Stafford trade, because there's all these rumors that we're in on this deal and we're talking to him trying to, get this deal done. And then right from under our nose, poof, goes somewhere else. They accept a different offer. Once again, we get Ashburn syndrome. So it is what it is. But you know what? I am confident that Washington will find a solution at quarterback in the near future. I want Washington fans not to freak out. I don't want to see all over my timeline how, oh, this is it. Oh, I hate this franchise. Oh, they're screwing us again. And, another year of 7-10. I mean, I've already seen a ton of it today. And, we just need to calm down, guys. We've got to calm down, just relax, have faith in the front office. I know that's hard to do as a Washington fan, but you have to give it time, and you have to give Ron and crew an opportunity to right the wrong. And from the reading I've done, and I've seen tweets from both JP Finley and John Keim, who are Washington beat reporters, that Washington's offer was actually better. Washington was offering picks for the next 3 years, so that's 22, 23, and 24. And they asked Seattle, is there a guy you want? Like, is there a player that we can throw in to sweeten this deal for you? And Seattle never countered. So I don't know what that means for Washington and its quarterback future. But, I mean, as far as I can tell, they're going to be aggressive. They've shown that to us already. So I have faith in the front office to get something done. My problem is, a lot of these elite quarterbacks are going to have no trade clauses. And are these guys going to waive the no trade clause for Washington? Part of it too could be Seattle didn't want to send Russ to the NFC. I've heard that too. That, even though the deal was better, they wanted him out. They wanted him in the AFC, not the NFC. And teams do that a lot too. So, and I kind of feel that same thing might happen with Jimmy G as well. That they don't want to send him in the NFC, so could go to the AFC. On the other side of that, the NFC really doesn't have strong quarterbacks. A lot of the top-tier quarterbacks are in the AFC. The only one that I'm thinking might come to the NFC is Deshaun Watson. I think Washington will be on that. I've heard Carolina's the team to watch for that. You've got Pittsburgh that needs a quarterback. I don't foresee that happening. These next 2 months are going to be very interesting. I think as of right now, these quarterback-needy teams, Washington, Denver, not Denver anymore, I'm sorry, Pittsburgh, Carolina maybe, all these teams that are looking at quarterbacks that, you've got names like Trubisky and Garoppolo as like the top trade candidate, and, Teddy Bridgewater as like a bridge guy, Jameis Winston, if, that happens. It's not good, but it's what we have. Best case scenario for Washington I see is either Trubisky or Garoppolo and a rookie. Best case scenario, probably Garoppolo and Willis. In my eyes, or and you guys already know how I feel about these rookies. I like the athletic upside that comes with Willis. Same thing for Ritter. I like Willis and Ritter. I also like Sam Howell, even though that he didn't have the best combine. A lot of the quarterbacks didn't run the 40, so there's that. But I mean, every quarterback that you get out of this draft is probably going to have to sit it for at least a year. And that sucks because we want to win. And, that's a lot of the reason why Ron has leaned towards hey, let's get a veteran. And that's why probably a lot of our fans sitting at this point that we're currently sitting at want Deshaun Watson. I mean, we've already got PR nightmares that we wake up with every single day. So there's really no reason to mess around and try to see what we can draft, and maybe we roll the dice on Willis, and maybe he's not Haskins 2.0, and maybe he's Lamar Jackson lightning in a bottle. I mean, man, it's going to be a wild ride this offseason, but you know what? Stick here with us on the Burgundy Boss podcast, and I'm sure you'll be seeing me, DC Derek, some other time. Follow me on Twitter. Like this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if there's any more NFL news that breaks like this, I assure you we will be on it. We will make a video about it. Until next time, y'all, have a nice day.